Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? I just set up this new laptop that I got. It is a ThinkPad T14 Gen 1. These T14s are now getting into a good, cheap, right into that sub $300 range, especially the one I got, which is the Ryzen 5 Pro. You could probably find a good one for around $300, which is very funny because these, my experience, I've only used the i5 and i7 ones with Linux before. i5, I think I have the X220, which has the i5 2400 generation, and my workstation, which I only have running Windows now because it was just a pain for Linux, especially with the graphics card. It's an NVIDIA graphics card. Big surprise there. The drivers aren't exactly compatible. So now I got this specifically for my 1 terabyte Linux Mint hard drive that I had. I just popped it out of the P52, slid it in here, and it works so much better. AMD Ryzen 5 Pro. Here, check this out. It is 6 core, 12 threads. As you can see, I have 32 gigs. Comes with 16 gigs soldered on, and I added in 16 gigs once again from my P52. And it's working really well. I've been using it for a bit now. I just configured it to record, which I've been looking for something like this for a while because I wanted to record in 1080p. My older ThinkPad has that 768 resolution, which is not good. And I also just figured out a way to be able to record through my audio interface, which has been a hassle, but I just had to reset the hardware itself so it doesn't try to go through any Windows software to record. Had to update some sound settings, and now things seem to be working pretty well. So now, why do I like using Linux Mint? And I think, one, it's better, much more stable than Windows. It doesn't crash as much, and I also just don't like using Windows. I use it when I need to for work and Excel, but I can do everything I need to through this stack I'm using now. Vim for editing text documents. I'll be using SQLite. I like just being able to save those DB files locally. OBS, of course. I don't know about a video editor, maybe OpenShot, just something simple and lightweight to cut up videos. I don't want to do any like fancy editing. I haven't changed my color scheme, just a heads up, so this looks absolutely horrible, but Ranger as always for files. Vim, I already showed you that, and also Brave. What else? There's not much, but the biggest reason why I like using Linux Mint, specifically this edition, Linux Mint Deep Edition, purpose of that is to just circumvent Ubuntu, which traditional Linux Mint is built on. Very stable, very smooth and elegant, but also a great thing about it is the keystrokes by default are very compatible if you bounce back and forth between windows. So standard default keystrokes for Windows now has what they call window snapping, which is like what we have here. Like if I wanted to table these side by side, just hit the Windows key, hold down the Windows key, and press the arrow buttons to place it where you want. But also, a lot of other Windows, a lot of other Linux users, you'll see use super. They call it the super key, but it's the Windows key, holding on the Windows key, and Q to close Windows. But Linux Mint by default has Alt F4. A little bit more of a stretch than Super Q, but because it's default on Windows, I like to have that personal like keystroke portability when going back and forth. So yeah, now I can easily record videos on Linux, which is it's a win, I'd say.